So sorry, but I'm not taking off my glass.
Lockyer takes a shot. It's low. He's got it. I think he's got it.
Merlin, are you going to speak?
But for me, it was a winner. David.
Well, I'm afraid it wasn't for me, Margaret.
Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped.
On.
Welcome back to On the Air Tonight, episode 61. You've tuned in to the number one podcast that reviews free-to-air television. As always, I am Jacob.
And as always, I'm Tom.
And we're back.
We are on the air tonight.
We are.
How are you, dude?
Straight into it.
You want to fuck around for a bit longer?
I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well. Nice to be back in the studio. It's been cold, mate.
Dude.
A real chilly 21 degrees in Brisbane today.
Yeah, but fuck, inside Kent Street, inside, I'm not going to dox myself, but inside...
You just did.
Well, not a number.
New farm number one.
Number one, yes. Number one. Nope, number one.
6.
Which is the first house of New Farm.
Plus.
Inside that house... It's cold as a motherfucker right now.
You're in like an old Queenslander.
Bruh, this morning was the first of the cold mornings. And I was like, I need to buy some slippers.
I love that a Queenslander house was developed for like, it's meant to insulate because we get these, strong tropical climates. And it's like, no, this feels like a boiler room for 8 months out of the year, and then it feels like an ice box for the other 4.
Yeah, it's a BWS cool room for the other 4. It's fucking ridiculous how cold it is in the mornings. And it doesn't, I've conceded to the fact that I'm not going to get up early ever. Not ever, but during this winter, why am I getting out of bed?
I don't get people who get up early for the gym. I don't understand them because...
Well, let me fill you in. It's a little thing called self-discipline, self-respect.
Coming from the person who just said, I will never get up early.
Yeah, but it's cold. I'm not doing it when it's cold.
Yes, if you let me finish my point.
Go for it.
I was agreeing with you that when it's this cool, when I say cool, I mean relative to us. So for a Melbourneite, it probably feels like close to freezing. But for a Queenslander that's used to... high 20s, low 30s on just an average day.
All year round.
When you wake up and it's a very brisk 17, 18 degrees, it's maybe 15.
Yeah, outside it's 15, inside it feels like 10.
Yep, tundra.
Yeah, it traps the cold. I didn't know a house could trap cold, but my house just fucking traps the cold.
Can you just swap it around and do that during summer?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it in summer. It traps the worst part of the weather. Heat in the summer, it traps the hot. Give me a housing system that filters out the negative part of the weather.
Yeah.
Anyone going to invent that? Or do I have to spend $180 on air conditioning heater every fucking month now?
If you're using a heater in Queensland, you're weak.
Fucked,
you're
right?
weak.
I'll just get an oil heater. I've got an air conditioner, but I'll get an oil heater.
It's funny, someone said that the other day. I'd never heard of an oil heater before.
Really?
I was like, what do you mean an oil? And for some reason, when I heard oil heater, I thought like a gas lantern that they use in the frontier, down the gold mines.
No.
It's a little thing you got to turn. It goes.
Yeah, you light it with a match that you strike off your beard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're obviously grew up very privileged and haven't had to endure the oil heater.
Or maybe I grew up substandard and never
couldn't afford an oil heater.
No, well, they were called electric heaters in my home.
Okay, yeah, or that.
Do you actually put oil in an oil heater?
No, but it runs off oil apparently.
But you never have to refill it?
No, you plug it into a wall.
Hang on a minute.
And it runs off electricity.
Something's not right here. It runs off electricity. It was called an oil heater, but you never have to fill it with oil.
Where does the oil come into this?
Yeah.
The oil heater is the old fucking heater that almost looks like a...
it looks like an accordion.
Looks like an accordion, yeah. I was going to say harmonica, but it looks like an accordion.
Harmonica would have been close, but...
Yeah, it looks like an accordion that Dad rolls out of the garage every winter, and you go, okay. And as soon as you see that fucking thing roll in, you're like, we're in for a cold one.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember. I can actually, now that you mention it, I've got vivid memories of when I was a kid, and Mum would just put a towel on the oil heater before I go in the shower. Oh. So when I get out of the shower, I just get this nice warm, material. I'm trying to think of the material. Cotton hug.
A cotton hug. But it feels like a hug from mum.
It feels like a nice warm hug from mum.
Because mum did it. The gesture is mum's.
And like the only time that you get that in your life now as an adult is if you're on a plane and they give you like a moist towel.
Yeah.
Or after a haircut.
Yeah,
And
barber.
And like love a good little barber just massage on the temples with like a nice hot moist towel.
Oh, it's so hot. There's nothing better than going for a beard trim. And then after he's
Wouldn't
just-
know.
Yeah. No, clear. And it shows. It shows.
Why? Because my beard's so thick that I've just never trimmed it before. I've never gone to get it manicured.
Big Isaac Butterfield over here. The big beard.
Bill Zerian.
I will say that as nice as that is, that your mum put the towel on the heater as a warm hug,
It's a hazard.
big fire hazard.
Oh yeah, she definitely said that when like I went to go put my towel on there again when it was wet. She's like, "Don't put a wet towel on there," because I was like, "I want to dry it out and make it warm." She's like, "I was like, I've dried myself, but I want to get back into a warm towel, but it's gone cool now."
That's not how it works, Jacob. Leave the warm hugs to mum.
Okay.
Don't try to replicate them yourself.
All right. Well, you try and get my mum to hug me then.
Yeah. Better men than me have tried. I'm sure.
Just hug him. He's so sad.
It'll make my life way easier.
He's gross. Yeah. I know he just showered, but he's grosser than any dirty human I've ever seen.
Even at 9 years old, it wasn't pretty. It's warm in Cairns.
Hey,
Tell you that much.
Tom's weekly travel wrap up.
I went to Cairns.
Nice. This has been Tom's weekly travel wrap up. We keep it short and sweet.
That's about it, honestly. I mean, no, there was it was nice.
Did you just go to Cairns?
Just Cairns.
Yeah.
Just Cairns for 4 nights. The reef's beautiful. Go and see the Great Barrier Reef if you've never done it before.
So you go to Cairns to get to the GBF.
You go to Cairns to get to the GBF.
Yep, okay.
Most people do the GBF off Cairns.
Yep.
Can also do the GBF off Port Doug. Can do the GBF off PD. But most people go GBF off Cairns. It's got the Great Barrier Reef. It's also got the Kuranda rainforest, which is the oldest rainforest in the world.
Yeah, you were telling me that today. That's an interesting tidbit.
Would also recommend that.
Could you tell like it was like a very old place when you were in there?
Not really. It's a rainforest.
Did you see any like giant spiders with a half giant running after it with a pink umbrella? Like was it
No, it wasn't Hogwarts level old.
no weird floating black cloaks sucking on a dead horse?
No, I didn't see any of that.
Okay.
No Dementor unicorn sucking going on.
Yep.
But they had trees.
Interesting.
Heaps of trees.
Big trees?
Big trees.
Little trees?
Small trees. In between trees as well. Yeah, and plenty of rain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rainforest.
Well, people were having a bit of a whinge. I had to mentally check a few fellow tourists. You go, it's raining up here. Where are you? The Kuranda what forest? What do you call a rainforest that doesn't? What do you call a rainforest that doesn't rain? A jungle.
Yeah, well, that's what was my childish train of thought. Is like, well, if it's not a rainforest and there's a shitload of trees and stuff around, it's a jungle.
Yeah. When does it go from rainforest to forest? I'd say that's the rain that's the differentiation there. But then when does it go from forest to just bush?
From forest to bush?
Bush. I'm in the bush.
Well, bush is a bit more sparse. It's a bit more spaced out.
Less large trees.
Yeah. I think when it becomes a jungle is when there's more vines. There's got to be vines in a jungle.
Is that right?
And there's also
got
got
the scientists say.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay. Sure, Jamie will.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't said anything yet. So, but also I feel like it's for it to be a jungle, there's got to be like a bare minimum of like 5 different things that can kill you.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a jungle unless at any point you could turn a corner and death could be right there.
Jungle's deadly. A jungle does scream panthers in trees, cheetahs, big spiders, big snakes. I'm thinking the Jungle Book. Maybe that's why.
I'm thinking Amazon.
I'm thinking Amazon.
Yeah, I'm thinking humid as shit.
Yeah. I'm thinking it needs at least one Tarzan in there.
Yeah.
For it to be a fucking
Just
jungle. Because Tarzan lived in the jungle. He didn't live in the forest.
Yes.
He definitely didn't live in the bush.
Yeah. Phil Collins is not making a score for a cartoon about a bloke who lives in the bush.
The bush.
No.
Have you seen Gods Must Be Crazy?
No.
That was in the bush.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Have you seen what's that fucking
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle? That's in a jungle, dude.
Forrest Gump. About a man, not about any sort of shrubbery at all.
I think it's just his name. Have you seen George Bush?
Doesn't have anything to do with it.
Nothing to do with the bush. Not many trees in George Bush, dude.
No.
So
maybe the ones he's smacking.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, George W. And we're talking W, by the way.
So
you're talking daddy.
You're supporting the Greens this year, I see.
Yeah.
Whatever the bullshit American equivalent of it is.
I'm sure there's one out there.
Surely.
The National Society for
Dank.
420. For Snoop Dogg.
This is a dank society.
Yeah. So Jamie's going to look that up, the difference between bush, jungle, and rainforest.
Tell us more about Cairns.
Cairns?
Yeah.
You want to know more about Cairns?
Well, I mean, we've already just established that you went to a rainforest, not a forest or a jungle or the bush.
I went to a rainforest. On the way up to the rainforest, there's two modes of transport where you can get to the top of the Cairns rainforest.
Okay.
One is a sky rail.
Gondola.
Yeah, picture a gondola, I guess, like an enclosed chairlift.
Yep.
I suppose you could call it a gondola, yeah. Went up in one of those. That's one mode of transport. The other is a train. One of the oldest trains in the world.
Running train up the mountain.
Running train up the mountain.
He'll be coming up the mountain.
And down the mountain if you really want to as well.
Okay.
You can run train all day up and down that mountain.
Yeah, getting railed, running train on the mountain.
Getting railed. A train.
Choo-choo.
The little engine that could. Thomas the Tank Engine, if you know what I mean. Running train up and down that thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the oldest trains in one of the oldest rainforests in the world. And it actually winds around. It goes under waterfalls. It goes through tunnels. It's meant to be amazing. We didn't catch the train because Roy wanted to do the chairlift both ways because he didn't really want to do the forest at all. So I compromised and went, okay, how about we skip the 1 hour and 40-minute train ride and we just gondola up and gondola back?
Yeah, because obviously the train has a winding path or track that it takes, whereas gondola straight up the hey diddle diddle.
Yeah, straight over the black dot or green dot.
Yep.
Considering what kind of day it is. So we caught the skylift up. We caught the skylift back. It was beautiful when we were up there. Coranda Village. There's markets up there. There's a pub. Played a game of pool up there.
They had a pool table up there.
Yeah, they had a pool. They had a free pool on top of the Coranda rainforest.
I mean, if you go into that altitude, if you're visiting the oldest rainforest on the planet, there needs to be a reward at the top. Free pool, pretty good reward.
Cool off in a pool. Yeah. So on the way down, obviously it's very commercialized. The sky rail is man-made, and they.
I sure hope so. It's not a natural.
No, that
evolution.
wasn't by God's hand.
Okay, all right.
People did that.
Who made people?
Well, yeah, everything man-made is technically God-made, isn't it?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything man-made is actually natural.
Yeah, it's actually science. On the way down, you get a photo. You get an automatic photo, actually on the way up and the way down, of you and your cart. On the way up, it was just me and Roy had our own gondola to ourselves. Happy days, living the dream. We get up there, we get a photo, you pose for it. It was good. Of course, they try to sell it to you afterwards, and
I can just take a free photo on my camera on my phone. Yep.
It's got a watermark on it on the screen. And they remove that if you want to pay for it.
You've done that. You've done that old deal plenty of times at SeaWorld, mate.
Old magic memories at SeaWorld. Except at Coranda, they don't yell at people for taking photos of their photos. That's just this guy.
You don't have miserable ex-NRL players with their families in tow.
Yeah, no. I reckon one of the worst things in any of the worst jobs that I've had is having to yell at people. Don't take photos of your photos, guys. And like duking it out with people going, but it's my photo, I'm in it. And then them going, and then me going, yeah, but it's our backgrounds. You can't take photos of our backgrounds on your phone.
It's also our camera.
Our camera.
Our ride that you paid and our park that you paid to be in.
Yeah.
Literally the one thing against many that is yours is your ugly face in the photo.
Yeah. But I'm still, after all these years, I'm on their side. I might have been indoctrinated at the time to think that I was in the right and they were in the wrong. But it proves that in everyday life, I take photos of the photos.
You were just doing your job at the end of the day, mate.
I had to make them delete the photo off their phone once they took it.
Oh, you were that guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm
sorry that you had to be that guy.
Yeah. Actually, you didn't have to. They were management encouraged you to do so. They said if you see them take a photo, make them delete it in their phone. And then make them go to their deleted folder and delete it from their deleted folder.
What? I didn't even know there was a deleted folder
Yeah,
on your
if you
phone.
delete a photo in your phone, it goes to the deleted folder.
Interesting.
And you can restore it from there or you can delete it.
Mm.
So we had some managers who would do that every single time. And I was like, why? How do you have the energy?
Yeah.
Like, it's so confrontational. You have to be enjoying that.
Surely you're not making commission per like photo that people
Fuck no.
purchase.
It goes in the bin afterwards. It's fucking
So what's the incentive for you to deter people from using their phone?
just so you can go home at night and go, not one got past me. Not a single customer went home with their photo without paying for
The
it.
world can sleep easy today. No one at SeaWorld got a illegally obtained photo of them going on a roller coaster.
Yeah, and the bosses at Magic Memories, the CEOs are going to thank me for it. And I'm going to get a promotion soon.
Just give me the yeah.
Oh, you're a bit cold.
Yeah, I'm very cold.
Sorry, mate. So I only did it when I was in a really bad mood. Some days if I needed to take it out on someone, I'd be like, delete that and go into your thing and delete it again. Such a, like, looking back, the shit cuntery of that. It's like, God.
Yeah, I'm certainly glad that I never went to SeaWorld when you were working on...
Imagine someone doing that to you, bro. You'd be like, fuck off, mate.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do? I
Yeah.
can't believe anyone listened to me when I told them.
Yeah.
You'd have to pick your victims. You'd pick your subjects and be like, they look like a pushover. I'll do it to them.
So you're not doing it to the 6'8" bikie with his
Fuck
family?
no. You'd be like, fuck off, mate. And then walk off. It's already in my phone. And I'd go, you're well within your right. There's nothing I can do.
You know what? Fair enough, mate.
So the point of this whole story is that on the way down, we got another photo, but we were sharing the gondola with one other man.
Okay, yep.
There was me, Roy, and one other man, and it's about a 20-minute gondola. He seemed like a nice guy. We didn't have much of a chat with him. He was pretty quiet. He might have been of Asian descent,
Okay, all right.
what I can tell.
Coming from the man who says he's never seen colour.
Don't see colour. That's why I said seems. I seem colour. I don't see colour.
You seem it.
I seem it.
Okay.
It seems like he might be a black fellow. Don't see it, though.
I mean, it seems like you are racist. you aren't, but it seems like you are.
Can't be sure.
Seems like you're a racial profiler here, Tom. But anyway, go on. So the third guy you racially profiled straight away went, all right, let me detect a level threat. Asian. Okay.
Okay, we're fine here. We're fine. We're going to not talk and there'll be no violence. Perfect. It'll be a very polite exchange, if any.
You sit in the corner and just calculate how long this trip's going to take us.
You're counting down the seconds as to when you can get off this thing, aren't you? I know. That's I'm fine with that.
So yeah, the three of you sitting on the, you're like wrapping your knuckles in case you get into a fisticuffs. Yep. All right.
And he's like, why is he with that white tape around his head?
Why did he bring boxing gloves on a gondola up the mountain?
Why does it never happens to me? I'm a Japanese man. So it seems. So it seems.
So it seems.
I'm a Japanese.
Okay, so the seemingly Asian gentleman is sitting across from you as you're descending down
He's
the
now
mountain.
definitely Japanese.
Are you sure about that?
It seems. It seems so.
All right.
Can't be sure.
Go on.
We get to the bottom of the mountain. Another photo is taken. This time of the three of us, and
By people working at the mountain.
yeah, well, it's a fixed camera, and they just go look up at the camera. It flashes. It's on the wall.
Most boring ride any theme park has ever seen. A gondola down a mountain.
Yeah.
Going
Woo!
about half a mile an hour.
Put your hands up, everyone.
Why are we getting robbed?
No, like a roller coaster.
It's meant to be fun. All right, let me know when the fun part is.
Yeah. Act like you're enjoying yourself. I will when I start to enjoy myself.
Do I look like I went to drama school, sweetheart?
I'm in sales, dude. I don't enjoy myself. So the photo's taken, and the three of us are kind of. This one's a weirder photo because me and Roy are sitting opposite each other. So Roy's got his back to the camera.
Okay.
He just kind of turns around, and I'm next to the seemingly Japanese man, and he's kind of like gives an awkward thumbs up, and I give an awkward thumbs up.
No peace sign?
No peace sign, I don't think. I have it on my phone actually, so we'll see.
So you stole the photo. Anyway,
I
go
stole
on.
both photos.
Yep.
And then we get off, and it's on the screen there again. They put you in, like we did at SeaWorld. They green screen your photo into like you're in the bush, you're in the skylift. Like it's very like
Why is there a need to green screen when you're already in the bush though?
because it's like you're in kind of the station. You're in the
Right.
railway station, so they just kind of get you and then put it in like a perfectly lit Coranda Railway up in the sky photo, not in the bowels of where you depart.
We want the jungle, not the concrete jungle.
Yeah, not the queues and
I'm with you.
Exactly. So we get off and we see the green screen thing, and I'm like, oh, that's a funny one, but there's another guy in it. Like, yeah, I'll take a photo of it anyway. And then the Japanese gentleman goes up to the people selling it, and he goes, how do I buy it? And I was like,
oh, you speak Japanese?
Yeah, he said it just like that. Well, he spoke great English,
all right,
seemingly.
I was listening to his conversation. So.
But yeah, he's like, where do I buy it? And they're like, oh, you guys all together? And I was like, no, this might seem strange because we're not all together. But he purchased the photo. And I was like, you just paid $25 for a photo of me and my friend Roy and you. And then that's just going to sit on your mantelpiece and collect dust for years. I'm going to sit on your mantelpiece and collect dust for a lot of years.
Well, look, if what the past 10 minutes has taught me is that he now knows what you look like.
Yes.
Kind of knows what street and suburb you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy is maybe like 2 house numbers away from finding you.
Is he a bit of a super fan, you reckon? Is he a stan? Is that what you're trying to tell me? He's a spud all the way up there in Cairns, followed me?
I don't know if that's racially kosher, mate.
He's like, yeah, he's a potatter, okay? I think what happened is he listened to last week's episode. This is one of those spuds we got off like episode, 40. We accumulated him along with TAC. You know, there's a few spuds. There's a lot of spuds out there who we have never met before.
Some loose potatoes.
Some loose potatoes that have fallen through the bag. He's listened to last week's episode and gone, oh, Tom's going to Cairns, is he? He's followed me to Cairns. He knows what I look like. He's seen me at the Coranda railway station. He's jumped on it with us, got a photo with me. Too shy to say anything because starstruck. You would be.
Okay, yep.
He's only human.
He didn't try and spark up a conversation?
Nah, but I would, I wouldn't do it if I wouldn't spark up a conversation with Vince Vaughn if I met him. Or, Ryan Shelton.
So you're putting yourself on the platform of A+ Hollywood heavyweight.
Well, it's all relative, isn't it?
In his eyes.
In his eyes, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
In my eyes, because I'm already up here as far as like celebrity goes, like, I'm sure he has maybe he has it on an Instagram or his own platform, his own version of celebrity. He's here, I'm here, and Vince Vaughn's up here.
Yeah. So Vince Vaughn is to you what you are to the seemingly Japanese man.
Kind of famous, dude.
All right.
I'm kind of famous. To this guy, seemingly.
So he was just politely avoiding eye contact just to make you feel more comfortable.
And as soon as he got out there to that paying kiosk, he went, where do I buy it and how much is it? Because I'll pay overs. I'll pay thousands for that photo because I'm a spud.
I need the photo.
I need
the photo with the man with the beard, the perfect beard. I need it.
Did you know he has a podcast? I need it. Do you make digitals? Have you got negatives as well?
Look, there's going to be a bit about a jungle and a bush, all right, and a gondola. Like I need the photo of him.
I need the photo. And then I saw him like waiting for the bus out the front later on, and he was just standing there because I wasn't sure if he bought it or not. I was like, surely he didn't buy it. Maybe he's just a bit confused. And he's standing there. What's the expression? Sure enough is the expression I'm looking for.
Yeah, okay. Sure enough.
Sure enough. There he is standing with mine and Roy's face under his armpit.
And the other hand down his pants.
Yeah, and then he was jerking it.
Looking for lumps.
Couldn't even wait till he got home. And I just thought, I am in that man's life forever now. I'm a part of your Cairns holiday.
Well,
so is Roy.
The question is, if he's such a big fan, did he leave a review this week?
I haven't seen a review from polite Japanese gondola man.
Seemingly
polite Japanese. Well, he's definitely polite. That much I can tell.
A polite seemingly Japanese man.
Yeah, polite. A definitely polite, seemingly Japanese man.
Was he in business clothes?
No, he was in rainforest trekking clothes.
I wanted it to be a polite, seemingly Japanese businessman.
I can't give you that. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I wish it was. For the sake of the yarn, I wish it was. For the sake of the yarn, yeah, he was in a suit.
Excellent.
And he was talking about stocks.
Yeah.
Very polite.
And eating sushi off a naked lady.
Yeah. I think he was Yakuza.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we're just profiling.
Well,
straight up stereotyping, are we?
You stereotyped that he was a businessman, so.
I didn't. I asked.
On to the reviews.
So we didn't actually get a review from the polite, seemingly Japanese man.
Unfortunately.
What we did get is 2 reviews, as we do every week, from our, I shouldn't say as always, because don't want to take it for granted.
Fuck no. I'd never take our spuds for granted.
But we do get a consistent form from 2 potaters every week, those being named part Australian, part Chinese, smoked paprika, and Christian the Animal Chin TAC. If you'd like to be one of these infamous characters and become the 3rd in the terrific trio, leave us a comment on one of our YouTube videos, leave us a comment on one of our Instagram posts, follow the channel to keep up to date with everything OTAT, and you can be read out like one of these comments.
First one comes from the Animal Chin, Christian Reese from San Clemente, California.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. He says, boys, sorry for the delayed review. We have had a run of epic surf here in San Clemente, and I've been on a tear. Set the kids up with a sitter, take the e-bike to lower trestles with a cooler of crispy boys, and surf and crush Cairns until dinner.
King. I heard the King's speech right there.
That's the King's speech. I think I've had a holiday. I went to Cairns. Listen, that fucking...
This guy...
living a holiday.
This guy, yeah. Went to the beach with a cooler full of tinnies.
Crushed Cairns.
And his kids, and he still had a good time.
He took the e-bike to the lower trestles with a cooler of crispy boys.
That's real King shit. Continue, Christian.
He goes on. Killer episode. Sounds like you guys have been having a real fun time seeing a lot of shows. We're going to see Dead & Co. and Elton John here shortly, and I'm excited to get going on live music again. Also, congrats on your first sponsor. When I first saw the episode title, I thought lukewarm sex was maybe a review one of you guys got from a partner.
Hey.
No.
Don't worry, Christian. I don't have partners.
And when I do, it's not lukewarm.
Ice cold.
It is ice cold sex. It is forgettable. Happy to know it wasn't.
Is that because it's cold because it's a body rather than breathing, or?
No. It's cold because of the...
Well, you're inferring that you're a bit of a cadaver cleaver.
I don't have sex with cadavers.
All right. Well,
I have really bad sex with warm, alive people.
Strange that you had to clarify that, Tom.
Well, you asked.
I mean, I've never had to clarify that in my life, but yeah.
No one's assumed that you have sex with dead people.
Well, a lot of people assume you do, so.
Only you. We move on. Happy to know it wasn't. This show seems like a hard pass for me, as I'm generally anti-shows that revolve around SJWs, their feelings, and difficult conversations.
Oh, you're going to love this show we've got for you this week, mate.
Is it any surprise that this guy loves our show so much when he just described like the whole kind of ethos of us? I don't like SJWs, feelings, or difficult conversations. It's like, well, you found the right show, haven't you, pal? He continues, as my dad would have told me, had I ever been like Luke, sack up and stop. Oh, as my dad would have told me, had I ever been like Luke, sack up and stop talking about your feelings. You sound like a nerd. Healthy. Just like Dad did to me.
The real Gary Cooper type.
Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Anywho, I loved hearing your take on the show, and I'm sure your take was funnier than watching the actual show. I give this episode 10 out of 10 awkward conversations with your parents about whether they still bone. Would recommend.
Brilliant.
Kind regards, Christian Reese, JD-esque. P.S. The first shirt you guys make should be a days since last accident style chalkboard, except with days since Nick Kyrgios last mentioned on it.
This guy just gets it.
He fucking gets it.
I mean, for someone on the other side of the planet, he's off, living the life, taking his offspring down to the beach, crushing a few beers, having a surf, and then he's got time to just know or make really, really specific references to Australian culture based on the nonsense that comes out of our mouth.
And not even all just based on us, which is what fucking astounds me. He comes out and he's like, I don't just know Summer Heights High, I know every Chris Lilly show that's ever been made. I know, what was the one that he did? Like Insane, what was it called? The Chris Lilly show is called like Insane People or Maniacs or something.
Yep.
It was called something like that.
Yeah, okay.
The one that was just like, it was called like Morons or something like that. The point is, we don't even fucking know what it's called off the top of our heads. And it's just like, yep, that show.
I know. I'm more Australian than you guys. And I'm not Australian and I live on the other side of the planet.
And I crush chins with my kids and I ride e-bikes. Tell me that's not fucking cool. Nice insight into your... I like that you can relate to me and that you had a similar upbringing in that your father told you to shut the fuck up and stop being a nerd if you ever tried to talk about your sex life with him. Very relatable stuff.
Relatable for you, maybe. My father's conversations tend to deal with baby oil, a banana, and a condom.
Okay. That
Not so much talking, but more action, if you know what I'm saying.
That's terrifying. Was your dad your PE teacher at school?
I wish he was. I would have run from him a bit more.
And so that's a very strong review. Getting on to part Australian, part Chinese's review, which I have right here for Jacob Purdy to read out.
Wonderful. So this comes from Tom's dad.
Yep.
That's the best nickname we're going to give him. Tom's dad.
Tom's dad.
He writes, the boys put on another repeat performance with Lukewarm 6 on the ABC. At least my hard-earned Tix dollars are going to something worthwhile. A comedian who pretends to be an introvert and asks socially awkward questions to make people squirm. The ABC does some good stuff, but this ain't one of them. You're not wrong, Papk. The scene where he questions his parents about sex life sounds very awkward. On a side note, though, sometimes I watch the ABC just to see the wardrobe they put on their show's presenters. Can be hilarious. Mm-hmm. Tom ratted me out on our birds and the bees talk when he was 12. The fact that I asked him to lie to his mother that we'd had the chat when we hadn't. I knew even back then he'd be a stool pigeon. Can't exactly remember the conversation 15 years ago, but it did sound like something I'd say. This podcast keeps drawing me back in, even after 61 episodes after today. Keep them coming, boys. 10 limp-wristed ABC TV presenters out of 10. Solid effort.
Solid effort.
I dropped the Kiwi accent about halfway through.
Well, it became a bit, when you're not sure what's coming, it's hard to...
It's hard for me, to anticipate the script when I'm trying to stay in character.
Of course it is. And if you haven't read it already, then...
It's unpeaceable.
It's
unpeaceable.
Yeah. Very coy of Dad being like, I don't remember the conversation 15 years ago.
I don't remember. The conversation may or may not have happened, but what I can tell you for sure that's not may or may not is that Tom is a rat.
A fucking stool.
He's a rat fuck.
He's a rat fuck. What are you, a fucking narc, kid? You gonna rat me out to your mother?
I mean, any insults you want to throw his way, Pap, just know the apple does not fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
So any shortcomings out of Tom's, he can just put back onto you.
Your fault.
Yep.
No, I didn't ask to be born.
Go listen to Cat Stevens' Father and Son again.
You mean Cats in the Cradle?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Cat Stevens' Father and Son.
No, I don't know that one.
You'll figure it out.
Who sings Cats in the Cradle?
Not Cat Stevens.
Okay. Cat Stevens also, what's his other name? Yusuf.
Yeah, it's Yusuf something. His original name was, I think, a Muslim name, and he changed it to Cat Stevens.
Cat Stevens, yeah.
I just typed in Cat Stevens, not Cats in the Cradle.
The cat's in the cradle and a shiver.
I feel like it's like some old rock band.
Boy blue and the man on the moon. Oh, when you go.
Harry Chapin?
Harry Chapin.
Chapin?
Oh, Harry Chapin, yeah.
You know who that is?
Chapin, yeah.
Okay.
No, I have no idea. Great song, Cats in the Cradle, though.
It's pretty good. It's nowhere near anything that Cat Stevens ever wrote. But
yeah, right. Father and son over Cats and Cradles, you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Wild World?
Don't know it.
Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by.
Dude, Cats in the Cradle is one of those songs that you listen to as a kid. We had it on a cassette tape, I remember.
Okay.
Dad played it all the time. And you hear it and you're like, that's a catchy tune. And then you grow up and you're like, that is heartbreaking. Remember the subject matter?
Not really, because I don't listen to. I know the hook, but I don't know the lyrical context.
Dude, the lyrical context of that song is the first verse is a dad raising his son, and the son is like, "Hey, Dad, can I?" It's from the boy's perspective.
Yeah.
Can we play ball? No, I've got to go to work. Can we go to the movies? No, I'm fucking your mother. Like whatever he says.
Hasn't got enough time for his son, and his son grows up.
His son grows up. Well, the boy grows up.
Yep.
He has his own boy. And then he's doing the same shit to him.
The cycle continues.
Yeah, my son comes to me and he's like, can we do this? And he's like, son, I've got to go to work. Can I borrow the car? Yeah, fuck off. Like, go away. And then like the most heartbreaking riff is the end.
When you coming home, son, I don't know when.
Yeah, but we'll get together then.
I know we'll have a good time then.
I know we'll have a good time then. And then the end of it is like, my boy was just like me. my boy. It's so sad, dude.
I mean, if you just listen to the hook, it sounds like a really nice story of like, me son's at work, but we'll be together soon.
Yeah, but it's like soon, never. Yeah. What are the cats in the cradle referring to? And the silver spoon?
Well, it sounds like a nursery rhyme, but I could look up the lyrics right now.
The cats and the cradle and the silver spoon, the little boy blue and the man on the moon. What are all of those, man?
Great question. What I'm going to do is we're gonna take a little dive into the lyrical breakdown of Harry Chapin or Chapin.
Harry Chapin. I'd like to know if he did the original as well.
There is a sense of ease with which time passes, especially in the framework of our own memories. In Chapin's repeated use of "just the other day," the usage in this verse affirms this. There would be years between birth and his ability to form a complete sentence like "I'm going to be like you." However, he still says of his son's birth that it was just the other day. And we'll look up.
Yeah, because the son in the first verse is like, "Dad, you're so cool. I'm going to be just like you one day." And then at the end of it, he's like, "My boy was just like me." Yeah.
So the hook continues. The Cat's Cradle, a string of progressively more complicated string arrangement. A string game of progressively more complicated string arrangements by two people. Originated concurrently in many indigenous cultures of the world. You know, like you've got like a piece of wool that's tied at the end and you do like the in between the fingers.
Yep.
There was a superstition that a cat would sit on an infant's body and suffocate the infant, literally love him or her to death. This may refer to the fear of loving him so much that he threw himself into work in order to distance himself, which kind of contradicts what you're saying.
The cat in the cradle is overloving your child.
Yeah, you're playing with something too much. You're coddling it.
Because a cat loved a kid so much that he sat on it and killed it.
The cat loves the cradle, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, did you say the silver spoon?
Doesn't say anything about the silver spoon.
What about the little boy blue and the man on the moon? Are you on Rap Genius right now?
I'm on
the cats in the cradle?
They've actually rebranded. It's just Genius because they interpret all types of lyrics.
Yeah, okay. We've gone from Lil Wayne songs.
Little Boy Blue is a nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
He is referring to the nursery rhyme, but there is an alternative meaning or a double meaning. He's talking about the little boy who is sad because his father is always away, so he never sees him.
Yeah, little boy blue.
Yeah.
And I suppose the man on the moon is dad out there. Yeah. So far away.
Correct.
Yeah, the little boy blue, little boy at home, the man on the moon.
When you're coming home, Dad, don't know when. But boy, we'll catch up then. And I love someone trying to break down the last line of, we'll have a good time then. No, you don't get my time of interpretation.
I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, wild lyrics.
Wild lyrics too. Surely the Spuds know Cats in the Cradles. If you don't,
I mean, that's just
join Daddy Issue Circle over here.
It's good lyric writing when you don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
When it's super, super metaphorical.
Yeah.
Super abstract where it's like,
when you have to do your homework.
You kind of, you got the vibe of what he's talking about without, like, before we went into genius.com.
Yeah.
You got the vibe of what he was talking about, but
it's not on the nose.
No.
But it's like, I love that shit when you're right, you get the vibe of it, but then you go and look it up and you're like, like the cat in the cradle thing. Like a cat fucking suffocating a kid in a cradle and then like overloving it too much.
Silver spoon just means wealth. So I imagine that ties in somewhere.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time on Rap Genius as a fucking teenager.
Yeah.
I lived on there.
Didn't we all?
Oh, dude.
Didn't we all?
Lupe Fiasco songs fucking back in the day. What exactly does he mean? And then you're like,
that's a good joke.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's about boobs, that one. But he didn't say boobs.
Just a level of artistic creativity that you don't see in today's day and age.
No, you don't.
Instead, what we do see is influencers. People getting paid maybe tens and tens and tens of dollars to promote a perfume or some sort of gemstone bullshit that they from their business in Byron Bay.
Which is very relevant to the show that we watched this week.
Yes, absolutely. We watched.
No, we didn't watch Byron Bay's.
No, I don't know what that is.
Haven't heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Because it's on a service that I also haven't heard of.
Yes, correct.
We watched the next best thing.
Nailed it, dude. We watched a show called Compass. The show
Sound as fun as Byron Bay.
The show Compass is on ABC iView. So first up, straight away, no commercials. Can you say the same for a paid subscription where you're watching the show? I can't because I don't know what that is.
Not for long. As that, we won't go there, but apparently Netflix is getting ads.
Oh, maybe we will talk about that.
Wow, if Netflix get ads, can we then watch Netflix on this
Because
show?
it's not free.
True.
You pay.
You're still paying.
Do you want to watch ads for free, or do you want to pay to watch ads?
Come on, Netflix CEOs, figure it out.
Come on, you're going into receivership. Anyway, the show we watched is called Compass, now streaming on ABC iView. Compass is a news documentary program presented by Geraldine Doog that is devoted to providing information about the faith, values, ethics, and religion from across the globe. This episode we watched is from a series or a season in the show. Can't tell you which one.
Season 36.
I think season 36 was the latest one.
This wasn't from that one.
This one is, I think it's called Influences.
Yep.
We should really do our research before we come to the mics, but
Do your own research.
Yep.
Search Compass, ABC iView influences.
if you Google that, guaranteed you'll find it.
Yeah.
Essentially, Geraldine goes into the famous, or to some infamous, Byron Bay to talk to sprouters, clouders, influencers, and everything in between.
Yeah, she really gets into the weeds of Byron Bay, a modern Byron Bay.
Yes.
Once a utopian
For the
chill zen.
for the creative types and the free thinkers and the hippies and the dippies and the trippies and people who got a little bit too lippy.
Yeah, and now it houses your Zac Efrons of the world and your Chris Hemsworths of the world.
Does Zac Efron have a house in Byron Bay?
He was there for a while.
Okay.
Don't know if he's still there, but I know that he has been at one point.
Interesting.
See him walking around. It houses those guys and then a lot of influencers as well. It's an influencer hub. And you can see why with the beautiful backdrops of Byron Bay.
The lighthouse,
The lighthouse.
beaches,
Three Monkeys, I think it's called.
a lot of shops,
Dirty ass nightclub.
a lot of shops that sell things woven by Hessian,
Yeah.
a lot of cream linen,
Yeah, a lot of beige colours.
a lot of felt hats, a lot of Birkenstocks.
Isn't it funny? It's funny that we go from like Byron Bay of, I suppose, 70s and 80s, which was, you'd argue, colourful, hippies, purple, blues, bright colours,
Hang
flowers,
loose.
hang loose. And now it is vapid of any colour. It's like you're in a white linen or a beige felt hat.
I mean,
that's it.
it just shows you an example that we really can't have anything good in this life, because there was this once, to use your term, a utopia
A haven.
for people who were seeking warm weather, sun-kissed beaches, salty air, fresh fish and chips at a reasonable price, a cold pint, good times with your mates, even better music. And now what you're left with is some sort of fabricated plastic version of that
Yeah.
at a higher price.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if you were just to track the average price of anything in Byron. Take a burger. If you took the price of a burger from the 70s and compared it to today in Byron, that's not just inflation that's made it go up. It's the fucking, overpopulation as well. Every man and his dog is now in Byron. And they all have money because they're fucking yuppie Instagrammers.
So would you say that Byron is the environment is a product of its population, where once a simple place, a quaint town, beach town, has now turned into the commercial cornerstone for people who are earning, or shouldn't use the word earn, are being given too much money for the things they do on social media. And now they just go spend an arm and a leg or whatever they want. They're willing to pay $30 for that, that caramel oat milk latte.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like it is such a beautiful place. I would say maybe not that much has actually changed. You can still get the same things there. You can still go to the same places. But when something is overappreciated to the point where there's everyone there taking photos of it, it's like anything. I went to the rainforest. When that was on its own, just existing, it was beautiful, I'm sure. And now it's got a fucking big metal sky rail through it because people want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
when something is over-enjoyed or over-appreciated,
It gets gentrified.
and then commercialized, and as soon as something is, you're able to make money off it, it's like, it's cringe. It's cringe now. Byron has too many people and too many beige hats.
So it's safe to say that when it's become this commercial hub for the influencer, the only people who can really survive there are the people who are making a mozza off taking a selfie of them breastfeeding their baby.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. That'd be fair to say.
So what were your thoughts on what we saw for the past 30 minutes, Tom?
Look, it was kind of an interesting deep dive into these people. It was because this show sits down with, it's basically a string of interviews with multiple successful influencers who live in Byron.
Varying from 10K followers all the way through to like 500,000.
Yeah, so they got some people who are making all of their money. It's their full-time job, Instagram. So it's not often that you get to, I suppose, hear their candid thoughts on Instagram as a job and as an industry, but it's still, everyone that they spoke to came with a, I don't know, like, not vain, but everyone was just very like,
Egotistical.
Yeah, egotistical. No one has the balls to just be like, it's because we're hot. Like, they're all trying to sell it as something deeper than it is. Like, one woman is like, well, the most important thing on my channel, on my Instagram account, is the captions. And people look at it because of the captions and the words that I write and the message I have. It's like, and you're 10 out of 10 gorgeous as well. It's like, you're deluded if you think that people are reading your stuff and it's because you're hot.
Yes. Yeah. You're saying that people come to your Instagram feed not for the photos but for the captions.
Yeah.
When if you speak to 99.99% of Instagram users, they're going there for the photo.
It's a photo app.
Yeah.
If that was true, you'd be big on Tumblr. Well, Tumblr's still photos.
You'd be big on the courier mail, mate.
You'd be big on the courier mail.
Yeah.
If your words were that fucking inspirational.
I do want to disclaim, in all seriousness, I do want to say that in Australia, obviously, tall poppy syndrome is very prevalent. So at any point in time, people will want to knock someone down a peg or two just because they might be higher than them or they think the person doing the tall poppy syndrome thinks that the person is too high or too big for their own britches.
We're going to try to avoid that.
We're going to try to avoid that because at the end of the day, if you said to me, hey, do you want to take one photo a day every day for the rest of your life, but you get tens of thousands of dollars, you get to live in possibly one of the most beautiful places on the planet, wear really nice clothes, don't have to pay for anything. All you got to do is take a picture and upload it. I'd be like, sure, I will do it. I had to stop myself from saying selling out, but
of course,
it's very difficult to not have some sort of not animosity, but some sort of distaste when it comes to these people because they do come out with these buzzwords and these quotes that are just fucking wank, like absolute wank. Like you touched on it before when someone said, and they speak in this croaky tone, this kind of tone, where people only come to my Instagram for my captions, and a couple of other lines I just want to read out here.
Please.
Essentially, we're all influencers. We're all influencers in this life because we all influence the people around us. So it makes sense that I get paid for it.
I just influence more people. You influence your kids and your parents and your friends. I influence 50,000 people who follow me. What's the difference?
I took some creative liberty with that last part, but essentially we're all influencers is a verbatim line. Tom already touched on. It's not about the photo for me. Clearly it is. You're posting a photo. A photo paints 1,000 words. Sorry, what?
A photo paints 1,000 words.
A photo. Okay, so not a picture tells 1,000 words, or
even a photo tells 1,000 words.
A photo is worth 1,000 words.
A photo paints 1,000 words.
Okay.
A photo doesn't paint anything.
I'll digress.
We'll allow that. Maybe we're splitting hairs there. We'll allow that one.
It can be an art form. Posting photos, I think and this is one that I had a real issue with, where it was like, okay, yeah, I get that. Like when you look at someone who knows how to Instagram versus someone who doesn't, you can see a clear difference. Like the the photo theme might be all the same. They might use the same filters or take photos with similar color schemes, color palettes. But I can't call Instagram an art form. I think what you're taking photos of is the art. Like if you're taking a photo of like a painting or like something you planted, like the thing you're taking the photo of is, for lack of a better term, the art. The thing you actually put work into, not the photo that you took at the very end of it.
You think nature is the artist and they're just capturing it?
Well, it could be nature, or it could be someone who fashions surfboards or takes a video of themselves playing like a guitar riff that they composed. The
music is the art.
The music is the art. It's not what you actually upload online. It's not the thing that has a little heart button at the bottom, which is giving you dopamine hits.
I mean, that's true, but then would you say that photography isn't an art? Isn't an art form?
That's a good point. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I can see how that can completely unravel my argument.
I'm just being devil's advocate.
No, and I appreciate it.
Because at the end of the day, they're creating something.
Yep.
It's maybe one of the lowest. Who's to say what is a low or is a high form of art? That they are creating content. I'm not saying they're creating art, but they're creating content and media. So like, you could say this room is art. You could say for like this, it's a creation.
You could say this podcast is art.
You could say this podcast is art. We're creating something.
Sure.
I would never say that. I would never consider myself an artist.
Sounds like you did.
That fucking, these curtains are artwork. It's like, are they artists? Everyone's like bakers are artists. Doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, carpenters are artists. I get it. There's a creative liberty that's taken with any role. And for a photographer uploading their images online, yes, the photo is art. I think what I'm trying to say is the idea that you're real, and the photos you take of you at the beach, and upload them as like a collage. I don't know if influencing is an art. Like I can't, and maybe I'm wrong about this. It sounds like I'm backing out of this argument very quickly, but I just don't see it as art. Like you're taking a photo for vain reasons.
In the vein of putting them down and saying it's so easy, you take what you're saying before. If you could take a photo a day and you would never have to work again a day in your life, if it was so easy, everyone would do it. And everyone is trying to do it. How many fucking people are trying to be influencers, but like how many are successful?
Millions, yeah. Or millions are trying.
Yes. So like they are good at what they do. They're good at the thing that everyone is trying to do. Otherwise they wouldn't be successful at it. So it almost like, I think cuts, or it devalues the work that goes into it, because I don't think it is just a photo a day. I'm saying they have a very easy life, but there'd be a lot of fucking work that goes into it.
Obviously, there's location scouting.
Yeah.
There's actually taking the photo. There's editing the photo.
Yeah,
I get it.
There's, I suppose, like conceptualizing and, coming up with new ideas and content and stuff, but it's still one of the easiest wickets you could have, I'm sure, as far as, but like, fuck, if you can make your life as easy as possible, wouldn't you? Like, I saw a comment on like a Triple M video today. There was one of our hosts saying he was talking about how we have so many public holidays in April, and he was like, fuck, when we go back to May, when we go back to 5 days a week, 5 day work weeks, we won't be 5 day work week fit. We won't be ready for it.
Yes.
And everyone in the comments was like, and this is coming from someone who works, with quotation mark, works 3 hours a day. Like, what do you got to complain about? But it's like, we see the guys in the studio, they do fucking work.
Yeah.
They work hard. There's prep and there's post time.
Just because you're seeing the final product or listening to it, you're not seeing all the hard work that goes on BTS.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that Marto and Margot work anywhere near as hard as fucking construction laborers or people who work 18-hour days.
It's a different form of work.
It's a different form of work. But also, why not what is it, optimal output, minimal input? Like, why not make as much money as you can whilst working? Like, that in itself is tall poppy syndrome, those comments on the video being like, well, you only work 3 hours a day. It's like, you would if you could as well.
Yeah,
You're
for
just
sure.
you haven't figured out how to work 3 hours a day. You don't have personality or whatever to be a radio host like Marto and Margot do.
Yeah. And I think I completely agree.
Not to get hung up on it.
No. I completely agree with you. And I think that, yeah, some people do get hung up on seeing, the final product and going, you did nothing to get to earn this. And I'm not saying these people didn't somehow earn what they've got, because you do have to build that following. I think the problem that I have with them is exactly what you were talking about before, where there's this language that's used. There's this feeling that there's a deeper meaning to what they're doing as far as, and like, more power to you. If you are someone who uploads content and you get people going, you changed my life. Before I met you, I didn't have a reason to live, and now I see the light. If you're something of a deity, a messiah to these people, and you want to see yourself in that way, more power to you. Don't use words like, or catchphrases like possibility agent.
Yeah, bro.
I've been politicized since I was born. Information diets, like these, and like this might be because I'm not on social media right now, but B just like a very, very casual user of it, where I'll scroll, but I don't know what goes in, behind, orchestrating a social media campaign or. How to attract and make things viral. Obviously, I don't know how that happens because because of the following that we've got. I just think it's very contrived.
Yeah, well, there's definitely, when you're watching it, there's an element of like, fuck, just call a spade, and like, say I do this because it's easy. Well, it's a really healthy, easy way to make a living, and I work. I mean, to their credit, there are a few girls on here who are like, oh, we make more money, much more money than we would with a regular part-time job with kids. Yeah. Like, we do make more than that. But yeah.
I thought they were saying something about them working harder as well than someone who's part-time.
Yeah. I don't know if they were saying they made more or if they were saying that they work harder.
Yeah, our photos that we upload, we have to work harder than some people doing a part-time job.
Yeah. They're basically saying that we can do this job with kids as mums, and they take photos of their kids and of their families.
We are so comprehensive.
Yeah. But like, it's just, you just want someone to call a spade and be like, look, I've got this many followers. I do ads. I'm not a possibility agent. They suck their own farts a lot.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the issue is that I think we'd all love to see, and what I wanted to see from the show was the one humble, firstly a bloke, because it was all female influencers. Yeah. It's fine, move on from that. But just one person to go, I've got this massive following. It's honestly, it's happened out of nowhere, but super thankful that it happened. These guys are. And you see a lot of YouTubers do it where they say thank you to their community. There's, I wouldn't be able to do what I do at the level that I do it without you guys supporting me, because that's my way of making bread.
Yeah. It's like if we have this show, and if this became our bread and butter and was our it wouldn't be our 9 to 5, but if we didn't have to have our 9 to 5, we made enough money off this to not have another job, we wouldn't try to dress it up as this like higher altruistic thing of like, we do it for the spud and the potat, and we do it because we love free to wear and we're opportunity possibility agents, and like we'd just be like,
we're manifesting our own destiny.
Yeah, it's inauthentic is what it comes across, and that's what astounds me as to how these people have such high followings, because it seems from what we just saw that they put themselves up on a pedestal above the audience, which is like, nothing that I've ever connected with has been someone above me. Like, all the stuff that I watch is the everyman. Like, it's so much more endearing. So when Angel Phoenix tells me that she's a possibility agent and that anyone who dislikes her is just angry at themselves and jealous of her, it's like, well, you never hear Ricky Gervais turn around and be like, any haters I have just want to be me and they're just jealous.
Yeah.
Like, there's other reasons that someone cannot like you.
Yeah.
It's not just haters.
And I guess that answers the question of like why you don't see many humble influencers out there, because to get to that level, and maybe they did start out as people with some sort of humility, but as you build that following, as you build, up to 5K, 10K, 50, 100K, when you see those numbers go up, maybe you really start to, drink your own Kool-Aid and go,
100%.
yeah, actually, I'm kind of the shit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fucking awesome.
Kind of fucking great. I was born to do this.
You see how many followers I got? How many likes I got on my last photo? I just got 50K to post a photo of an empty beer bottle.
How was work, motherfuckers?
Yeah.
When'd you knock off? 6 p.m.? Did you get there at 8? Fucking hell. I did nothing today.
Absolute G up.
But then it's also like, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because do you need to have that ego and
Yes.
belief to be, belief in yourself that you are great to be great? Like when you look at Kanye's doco, it's like that guy,
He knew it.
he fucking knew it. And if he had a shred of doubt in his mind, if he had a shred of doubt or deprecation, is that a word? We'll roll with it.
Self-deprecation, yeah.
He wouldn't have fucking made it. But he was like, I'm the fucking best. I deserve to be number one. I deserve. So all these guys on Instagram just think that they are the best, but it comes through. It's like,
I suppose it's one way of dealing with resilience, where you just, to the point of ignorance, screaming from the rooftops, I deserve this. So I'm going to keep going through every single obstacle and challenge that I find until I get to and like, that is admirable. If someone's willing to stop, like, ignore the people going, you fucking suck, and ignore the podcast going, you're a wanker, like us, and get to that pinnacle, that summit of success.
yeah.
Good for you.
You have to shut it out somehow, right?
Sure.
Like, you can't take it all in. And if your coping mechanism of shutting out out all the noise and all the hate is they're jealous, like, I suppose that's a method. Like, go for it, but it's only going to attract a certain audience.
Correct.
Like, that's, a lot of people aren't going to get around you.
We're not their target demographic. Like,
not their target
Let's be
demographic.
real.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
They don't need us. I don't think Angel Phoenix is up at night right now thinking, fuck, when are Tom and Jacob going to start following my photos?
Yeah, how are we going to market to get more reach and frequency from the OTAT?
Yeah, from the OTAT, from the 27-year-old white male. How do I get him on board? Don't think she needs that
We're just not there. Yeah, we're just not their target.
And she knows it.
Can I approach something else that they brought up in the show that really just ground my gears?
Please.
Finstagram.
Yeah. Talk me through what a Finstagram account is.
So I found this to be a bit of an oxymoron, but basically they had someone who was I think she's a professor at a university that studies social media.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that it's not a role, because it clearly is, and you probably get paid very handsomely. And I think it's good that people study these things. It's just amazing that it's gotten to this point where you've got people who are professors in social media
Doing degrees on Instagram.
on analyzing. Yeah, it's another iteration of human behavior. But anyway, Finstagram stands for fake Instagram, and basically, my biggest issue with this is that a Finstagram, if you're not aware of the term, and I think everyone knows what this is, but never heard that term before. If you watch if you follow a fan page, like if you follow UFC or the Nelk Boys, or just think of any major, like Cristiano Ronaldo, or a band, actor, whoever it is, or a show, they'll have the official Instagram page. So that's Instagram. And then they'll have some sort of behind the scenes where it's the person's personal account, where they're like, yep, so this is my actor Instagram, or this is the show Instagram, and this is me. This is behind the scenes. So they'll show candid photos of them without makeup on, or, oh, this is us shooting that clip that you watched for that comedy show, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
My biggest issue is that it's called a fake Instagram. But all they're showing is all the things that are meant to be as perceived as real. What?
It should be called a Rinstagram.
A Rinstagram?
Yeah, a real Instagram. Because the idea of it is this is our more authentic, real self.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound...
It's an Insta sham.
Yeah. It sounds like a sham to me. They need a better name for it.
Yeah, they need to Insta rebrand.
Yeah, they need to instigate an Instagram rebrand. I don't I don't hate the idea of it. Yes, Jacob.
No, keep going. I'm just drinking my beer.
I don't hate the idea of oh, okay, a professional photographer's account. Not saying that these guys are, but this is the final product. It goes back to it's just a BTS video, isn't it? It's like people want to see how the final product was made.
Yep.
And when you see Inception, how did they fucking do that? Oh, the set turned around in real time. That's fucking crazy. How did they get that amazing photo on the beach? Oh, they went at sunset and they fucking took the kids down and put them in linen shirts. Less interesting. Way less fucking interesting than a behind the scenes Christopher Nolan video.
$100 million movie, yeah.
But I suppose people want relatability. So, yeah, I get the concept, but why it's called Finstagram, I don't understand.
It's just it's an oxymoron that we don't need.
Yeah.
There's enough contradictions and paradoxes.
I've got enough problems in my life.
Yeah.
I don't need another fucking thing that doesn't make sense.
I don't need you going, this is the real one, even though it looks fabricated. This is the fake one, even though it's real.
No.
Do you follow where my confusion's coming from?
Yeah, I follow where the confusion's coming from. I don't follow the concept of the fucking... I don't follow why the things are called what they're called. But I know why you're confused.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And I share your confusion.
I'm glad you do. We're clearly very much on the same page of this bullshit book that we're reading.
We can talk about how much we agree a little bit more if you like. I really don't like it.
Really wish we had a point of difference on this one.
How much do you not like it?
I actually really like it.
Okay.
I love Instagram. That's why I deleted my account.
And Finstagram makes heaps of sense to me, the name of it as well.
Yeah.
So fight me about that.
Any questions?
Any queries here, dude?
So Tom,
can I make one more point? Before
please,
we get
no,
to the
please,
ratings?
yeah, no.
It's, I suppose, one moral issue that's going to come out of the whole thing is a lot of these Instagram accounts.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Please go on.
A lot of these Instagram accounts are people of their families and their children, very young children and babies. One woman touches on it that she had to have a conversation with her husband that as her children were getting older, he didn't want his daughters to be seen in bikinis online. And she said, and that's fair. We can have a conversation about that. I'll probably still fucking do it. It seemed was how she was
that's what she was
about it.
inferring of, like, at some point we'll have a conversation of like why we should do it.
Yeah. She didn't say we won't post photos of our daughters in bikini. She said,
is-
I'll hear my husband out.
Whose Instagram is it, bitch?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Who's paying the bills here?
Not your fucking 90K a year from your plumbing.
No. You think plumbing pays the bills, dude? No, likes pay the bills.
My $300,000 figurative dollars that I get from my Instagram followers.
It's my pilot sponsorship for men's mental health and physical. That's the target demo. That is the biggest problem I can see coming out of this. That the kids obviously don't give consent to their photos being plastered all over the internet. I suppose that doesn't just stand for influencers. Like that can be that's
for anyone
across the board, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Anyone. But yeah, the kid, like, there's just something that feels gross to me about here are my kids
whoring at your kids,
Will Smithing out your kids. Like dad has a big problem with how Will utilize Jaden and fucking Willow and all those kids and capitalizing off his children. These people are doing that unashamedly.
Yeah.
Just fucking here's a photo of all of us at the beach. Here's a photo of my kid throwing his shit around the room, throwing dirt around the room. Look how real we are. We're just like you. It's like the kid, I don't want to see it, and the kid probably doesn't want...
The kid isn't aware enough to be able to give his consent.
No.
Which is why the legal age to for like kids if they want to be in custody of their parents is like 16.
Yeah.
You're not old enough at fucking 7 years old to know whether or not you want to be online.
You want your photo everywhere to a massive audience. But I suppose you can say the same for child actors and baby actors.
Absolutely.
It's up to the parents as well.
And I think that brings my point up about it, where like, first thing I'll say is that obviously you're your own, everyone is their own person. So what you choose to do is you have the absolute right to do as long as you're not hurting another person or impeding on another person. So if you want to post photos of your kids at their ballet recital or, spelling bee, or, if you just want to post a photo of them when you're at the beach together, totally fine. And I've got plenty of family members and friends who have, kids, and they'll post photos of their kids on Instagram so their community can keep, in touch with what's going on. That is completely fine. Each to their own. I just feel like there is a little, for me personally, I feel like there's a little bit of a moral boundary or moral question to ask. Like, I feel uncomfortable as a 28-year-old, soon to be 28-year-old man when my mum posts a photo on Instagram or Facebook without me knowing about it, should she have asked my permission? Probably. She does now. Now
Now that we've had a chat.
Now that my sister and I have been like, don't do that without us asking.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's your own identity.
Yeah,
like
it's your image.
It's your own image. So yeah, it's a weird catch-22. It's like the child is not old enough to give consent, but that puts you in control of it. But should you really be doing it?
Yeah.
Each to their own. I just don't know if I would if I had kids.
Well, I feel like it's a little bit different when you talk about everyday people who are posting photos to maybe a community of a couple of hundred, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 900 people.
But is it that different because it's still public property?
It's public property. But that goes out to 900 people. This is going out to audiences of 5, 6, 700,000 people. I think there is a difference there, and there is it wasn't that long ago where people were pretty fucking scared about. People were very cautious of, I'm not posting my children's photos online because pedophiles are real. And I'm just saying, if you fucking thought kids were attractive, there's a gold mine of content on Instagram now. If you want to
It's getting hot in here. I think someone's uncovering why I got off Instagram.
Jake's deleted his socials for a very real reason. He's too hot.
Don't go through my like history.
Everyone's jerking off over his photos. No, I was going a different route, but okay. All right. You're the subject of masturbation, not the prosecutor.
I'm the muse for pedos.
Yes,
right,
you're the muse for pedos.
Okay.
So these kids are the muse for prospective pedos. The prospective muses for prospective pedos.
Seemingly.
Semeningly.
I like me. Yeah, I'm thinking me likey.
Yeah. Okay. But I've known people who are there's been a baby at a thing, at a family thing, and then a photo has been taken, and then someone's gone to post and be like, "Oh, can you just not post that? I'm not putting photos of my kid online."
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe that's overly cautious, but maybe it's the right amount of cautious as well. Obviously each to their own, but the same threat is there regardless of how cautious you are. I don't know, just fucking, you don't know who's out there looking at this shit, and these kids have no control over who's jerking off over their photos.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, and I suppose the rebuttal to that is, something wrong could be around the corner at any time. Why am I worrying?
Life's full of risk.
Why am I worried about something that could happen?
Yeah.
Why not just do what I want to do?
Totally.
And then if something happens, deal with the repercussions then.
Yep.
But it may not go wrong, so why am I worrying about it in the first place?
It may never happen. I may never get hit by a bus, but I still look both ways when I cross the road.
Brilliant metaphor. Brilliant.
Well, I'm full of them.
Are you?
Well, I'm known for them. That's why they tune in.
Give me a metaphor for this episode, Tom.
I'll give you a rating for this episode. About that, I'm all out of metaphors.
He's just done a real big squidding. Just get me out of here.
How about we just wrap it up?
How about we just use an escape rope and get out of this cave?
A metaphor for this episode is me leaving right now. How about that?
He's walking away.
What would I give Compass
on ABC iView?
Byron Influences? Is that the name of the episode?
I think it's called Byron Influences, which is I think the second last season.
So season 35.
Sure.
Again, Google Compass Byron Influences. You'll find it.
ABC
iView. No ads. Worth a watch.
We do this to give a challenge to our listeners.
Yeah.
This is good for the brain learning.
I'm not going to spoon feed them.
This is sharpening the tool.
Sharpening the noggin. The noggin sharpening.
The big noodle.
I honestly would give Compass as a show, this episode, I'd give it 6.
Yeah. Solid.
I'd give it 6 colorless families out of 10. 6 colorless egotistical families out of 10.
Yeah. Seems like an appropriate review.
I think 6 is strong. It was fine. It was good. I didn't hate sitting through it. It was insightful. There were things that I learned about these people that, I saw into their thinking. I didn't agree with it, but I see why they do it.
It gave you an insight into a different world, a different lifestyle.
Which is what we're all about on OTAT.
That's exactly right. We're here to encounter new things.
You'll notice we do a lot of documentary shows on OTAT.
We do. We like to educate ourselves.
You don't see us watching Lego Masters. You don't see us watching... We watch maths.
And we will be watching the Neighbours finale at some point.
At some point, when it finally ends.
August 1st it ends.
Oh, he's got dates.
Yeah, I do my research. It's not just going to work for Channel 10,
I'm
but
thinking I'm smart. And we don't just watch docos because they're usually short and don't have ads either. It's
and
not
we can
because of
tee
that.
off on serious things or people trying to be serious.
Fucking oath. What about you, Jake? What would you give
Oh.
Compass by you?
Me?
Yeah, the other guy
Me?
in the room.
What
would you give it?
So I think you were pretty much on the money with 6. I'd say like 5, 5.5. Linen outfits accompanied by Birkenstocks out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Geraldine Doog, I think her name is D-O-O-G-U-E.
Dogecoin.
Dogu? Dugua?
Dugua?
Dugua. I thought Geraldine was interesting enough, engaging. She clearly did her research. My God, the amount of Instagram posts she probably had to go through to ask questions of these influencers.
Yeah.
She's great.
She actually is great. She was a good presenter. She wasn't annoying at all.
No. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, you knew she was there, but she didn't take over. Thoreau-esque, maybe.
She's got a bit of Louis about
A little
her.
bit of Louis, maybe a
Yeah.
bit more charisma, a little less spectrum about it.
Yeah, which is probably why we like Louis more, because he's got that endearing autism about him.
Yep. So she was obviously the best part of the show, I think, with better subject matter where it's not something that you and I both are just like, yuck. I think it'd be great. Like if they were doing, you know, the oldest rainforest on the planet.
Oh, I'd fucking sign right up. I'd sign right up.
Of course you would. Yep.
So it's 5.5 out of 10.
5.5 cream linen outfits accompanied by Birkenstocks out of 10.
Nice. To wrap this whole thing up,
Sure.
not to pry Jacob, because I'm not in the business of prying,
Okay.
and neither are the Spuds.
Okay.
And you don't have to talk about anything you don't want to talk about.
I've got my guard up right now, but let's go.
I'm trying to tear it down. No, it is interesting. This is an interesting episode to watch specifically for us, as one of us is on social media, one of us is not on social media.
Yeah.
You have deleted your Instagram and Facebook, all of your socials. I can only contact you via phone number at the moment.
Yep. Just like they used to in the old days.
Just like the old days. How's it been? It's been about a month.
Look, it's people have asked me that, and is it weird to say that I don't really notice much of a difference?
It's not weird to say.
Like I think, like one thing that I would say is that like the analysis that I get at the end of my week on a Sunday morning to say this is how much screen time you've had. I've gone from like 7-8 hours a day.
Yeah.
To 2 hours.
Really?
So I've cut I'm on my phone a quarter of the time. I still use like Reddit. Like I still go on Reddit to like keep up on like certain news topics, but also just if I need to schmeme for a little bit.
Yeah. You need some kind of brain numbing scroll.
I still use YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's a social media platform, but yeah, like I did it for my own reasons. I just wanted to take a step away to see if it made any difference in mental health. I also want to just wipe the slate clean. I'm sure many people can relate to if they've had a Facebook for more than 10 years. Some of the shit they said in high school is pretty cringe. Instead of going through and deleting every status, I'm just going to delete it straight away. And there's also people that I think are on my either that I'm friends with on Facebook or Instagram that I just don't want seeing my content.
Yeah.
For many different reasons. So decided to take a step away. I'd like to say that it has made a significant difference, but it's not like it's like, oh, getting on social media has changed my life, because it hasn't significantly changed my life one way or the other.
Yeah.
I still go about my day in the same way.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing is that I don't have this like subconscious mechanism where if there's like a lull, like if I'm watching a footy game and there's a commercial break, I don't check my phone.
Yeah. Do you just sit there?
I'll
I know that we are humans and we're supposed to.
grab a glass of water, talk to the person beside me or
okay.
something.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Must be nice.
It's not like it's making me like more like, oh, I'm awake. I
Yeah.
can see the world around me. I can smell the roses. I can see the colors.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. I think if it's something that you're thinking about, I'd suggest doing it, but I'm not saying it'll change your life.
Yeah.
I think it's good just to get away from it every now and again. The main selling point is that I don't feel like I've lost anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that, definitely for the first 2 weeks, I was like, oh, I don't have Instagram, because Instagram was the way that I kept up to date with everything.
Yeah.
News, what's happening in Brisbane, what's happening in the nation, in the world.
Yeah.
Friends, sport, music, art, whatever. whatever the things that people are interested in. It's a great way to keep up to date. And I think social media is awesome for that reason, for connection and accessibility to info. But it's not necessary.
Yeah. It's a good, honest answer, because you hear a lot of people who delete their shit and then they're like, I'm alive. Like, I have a new meaning on life now. And I'm always like, I wonder if it is actually that impactful.
No, if anything, I feel sheepish and a modicum, say a sprinkle of dickheadery when someone goes, "Did you see this?" I'm like, I go, "No, I'm not on social media," because I don't want to be the person who goes, "Did you actually? Oh, you're on Instagram." Yeah. I'm actually not, because that stuff is so bad. If you ever heard of blue light syndrome?
Yeah.
I'm literally just going, sorry.
The equivalent of a loud vegan who's like, I don't fucking...
Correct.
I don't eat meat.
Well, as a vegan, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just, not on it. Sorry, man. You're going to have to explain that to me.
Yeah.
Did you see this little ticky-tocky?
Yeah.
Didn't, bro?
Yeah. And now I have to show you memes in person, which is fun. I don't send them to you. I show you Sopranos memes face to face.
Even better. Let's connect physically.
And I get to see your face, your little face light up and go and chuckle, and then we walk back to each other's desks.
Tom's my social media dealer.
Yeah, I'm your meme dealer.
Yeah,
and God knows you need it.
Oh yeah,
you're slipping away, pal. You've been way less funny ever since you got off Instagram.
Dude, have you heard of Scumbag Steve? I heard it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I heard of that boy.
Yeah. That's what you're missing out on. That's what I think of, though, when these people on this fucking show, I know we're wrapping it up.
I hope so.
When these people on the show are like, it's so, like they put so much importance on it, and like because one lady's talking about, we get wrapped up in the conversations of like addiction and mindless scrolling and how bad it is for us, but really it's a community and people wouldn't be there if they didn't need it. People need this in their lives. And I'm like, if you didn't exist, the world wouldn't change one bit. And like, if you don't, you're a living case of it. You haven't had it for a month and your life hasn't changed significantly. Like we could, if Instagram was deleted tomorrow, because it's become such a big part of our lives that we use every single day, we think we can't live without it. And if it was deleted tomorrow, we think the world would fall apart. I guarantee we would be within 2 days just like, oh, what happened? It's like COVID. We're like, this is such a big part of our life forever now. We're going to live with it. And all of a sudden, it's fucking not. Yeah. It's like, life goes back to normal very quickly.
I mean, Bear Grylls said it best himself. Was it adapt, overcome, survive?
That's us, dude.
That's us.
That's us, baby.
We're not trying to drink piss out of a snake skin.
No.
It's if you shut off your social media apps, you're not going to die.
No.
And you're also not going to miss out on important shit.
No.
Because it's not like I missed my sister's birthday because I wasn't on socials. No, I'm only kidding. She's not on socials either, so.
Yeah. Well, that's, positive. But that's the thing, right? Like all of the amount of time that I've spent looking at funny memes and videos and scrolling over the years, and they're funny and they're good and they're a way to connect with friends and all of that. But I can't remember I can remember maybe 5 off the top of my head, like really impactful memes or videos. Maybe Casey Fry video or whatever, something. I was like, that was fucking great.
Yeah.
But you'd get it elsewhere if we didn't have social media.
Yeah. And I like sometimes I'll miss that conversation with my mates when they're like, oh, did you see this video? I'm like, no, you can show me now.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring it up.
I would, The one way I describe social media is, to follow on from your point, it's like, it's not the be all and end all. It's like, it is very useful in certain ways. You don't need it to live. And I think that goes for a lot of things. Like if the one thing that social media has taught me is that there's probably a lot of other things in my life that I think that I need or things that I feel like are part of my habitual routine. Probably don't need them.
Yeah.
Beer on a Friday. Cheeky multi every now and again. That one Uber Eats order that puts me into bankruptcy.
And a 5-day fast food binge spiral.
Yeah. I like it a lot. It's become part of my routine. Do I need it?
Might be healthier without it. Well, that's a great point to end on, Jacob. Sort out your cruxes, figure out if you need them or not, and try a little bit of time away from them.
Do you need the vice?
Do you need the vice?
Or does the vice need you?
Are you in a vice grip at the hands of your own vice? Spuds, what a great week.
Phenomenal.
Do you want to wrap this bitch up, Jacob?
Let's wrap it up like we're not trying to have a kid. Thank you so much for joining us on the air tonight. If you have made it this far into episode 61, we do really appreciate everyone who comes and supports the show. So if you do want to see the show progress, or if you want to get more involved, again, we do encourage everyone or anyone to leave us a comment, send us an email on the air tonight podcast at gmail.com. Instagram is _air tonight. Just get involved. And we would love to interact with you a bit more.
I'd love to. I'd love to be an influencer.
I'd love to touch you online.
I'd love to influence you a little bit more.
This is my social media now. Don't have Tinder, Grindr, Sminder,
Cringe.
Hinge, Cringe, Minge.
Minge. Syringe.
Now that's a dating app I could try.
Yeah. It's junkie dating site. Hook it into my veins.
Got me eyes.
It's called NA.
But yeah, look,
It's called Narcotics Anonymous. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. But yeah, thanks, cunt. We'll see you next time.
Bye.